Related, where we highlight opportunities and obstacles from former athletes with the thought process of giving future generations a better understanding about the game.
These conversations are meant to bring awareness to the opportunities and the hardships that come with the game. Let's get game related.
All right, y'all, welcome back. Another episode. I think this one is going to be an epic one. We got our guy Ray Brewer in the building. As y'all know, Takeover has been dominant and consistent for years, and Ray is a big reason behind that, kind of stays to himself, don't really put that out there, stick his chest out, but he's definitely a big reason for that, so he's in here to talk to us about the many hats he wears with the organization, along with what he's doing in the women's game as well, and just some of the things that he can do that he can help with training culture. We're going to dive into that a little bit more. So, man, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
Ray. All right, cool. So, look, this probably hit home. It's probably one of my favorite questions, right? Every year, y'all got top 50, top 100 guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's All-American nominees or McDonald's All-Americans. How do you get them to, everybody's trying to catch you guys, right? So maintaining that level of success is a difficult task for many. What would you say attests to you guys being able to stay at that consistent level?
Well, I think a big thing is we do a good job identifying them in middle school.
Mm.
So we've been fortunate enough over the last 10 years, them guys that we done had at 6th and 7th grade, it's been kind of a system that where we've been able to get at least 6 to 7 of them, that core, to be able to just stay and get better and be able to, by the time they get to 17 under there, you just plugging in 2 to 3 guys. And it's been able to help us because those new guys that we get, them 6 to 7 already been in the system to understand to help those guys transition into it. So again, I think that big piece is being able to get them in middle school and create that foundation of what it's going to look like going into high school, what it's going to look like going into college. And by the time they get to high school, I think it kind of run itself.
That's cool, man. What would you say about like keeping the parents or their I would say their posse or their crew behind them, keeping them level headed during this process?
It's highs and lows with it. You know what I mean? Because parents gonna be parents, and at the end of the day, respectfully, they had their blinders for their child. And I think that's where it comes in of having a village, and them parents picking the village, people like myself, Jamil Jones, and Keith Stevens, to have that information to be able to sit down. And sometimes when you feel like you're getting ahead of yourself, or you strictly have your blinders on, now here we are to say, look, man, kind of slow down, or take this view and look at it, or take this path and kind of, and just take it one day at a time. Because again, the experience, these parents want instant gratification today. You know what I mean? A lot of it is with this social media, everything putting it on the forefront to make it look like you can do something today and it'll happen tomorrow. And then just having us in there coming from that era where it's been a grind, blueprint of putting the work in daily, not looking ahead, just getting better that day. And I think us being in there, not kind of leaving, that helps them parents to understand it. And again, like you said, it's going to be highs and lows with it, because sometimes these kids their success do happen overnight. You know what I mean? These parents get ahead to where they feel like now you can speed it up, but at the same time, you still just got to take your time and that one day at a time with it. So, the parents, man, it's highs and lows with it. You know what I mean? So even in this space now, we doing more educating them.
Yeah.
From one point to where our parents, I mean, they might come to a game and watch and sit, but it's like, look, let the coach be the coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let the players play in. But now this, with more ownership in the game that these kids have, it kind of opens up where the parents can be more hands-on and, I guess, controlling, you know what I mean, to an extent. But in this lane, you got to be knowledgeable. You know what I mean? You kind of got to understand what's going on, or basically played it like we did and go through it before you kind of as a parent to say, well, I know the whole process,
Right.
you know, so just continuously educating them, you know, trying to anyway.
It's a good answer. Good answer. So everybody know you from being, you know, a trainer, a coach, you know, big bro, big homie, right? But you was a good ball player too, you know. And let's dive back on memory lane, man. Eleanor Roosevelt. You know, let's talk about what made you successful then. And then, you know, everybody always asks, what happened? You know what I mean? So let's break that story down a little bit.
It's crazy because man, I wasn't even planning on going to Roosevelt. You know what I mean? I was coming out of Newport where Keith Stevens had recruited me, and it's crazy that I'm here with y'all two today. My first JV game as a high school player, we scrimmaged y'all that my 8th grade year. I think it was y'all freshman year. We went down Gonzaga, and man, y'all introduced us to high school. Because a lot of us, myself, Taiwan, Lawson, Dwayne Anderson was a freshman that year. All of us, well, we was the backcourt, but me and Ty was in middle school. So Newport gave you that flexibility to be in middle school and play. So, of course, the plan was to stay there for 4 years after that, but financially the school couldn't stay up. So I was in a whirlwind, man. I had visited McNamara at the time with Kevin Sutton. I had visited Math at the time. That was really my two schools that I was kind of down to. Kevin kept it 100 and was like, "Look, I'm about to leave and take the Mount Verge job." The Math was a good situation, but I had just played JV as an 8th grader, and they were saying, you know, they processed respectfully at the time. Morgan was still there. It was like play freshman. And I was like, I ain't doing that. You know what I mean? I just had like 25 on them in a JV game at that time. I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks in the school, I'm at home. School going on. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So happens, me and Jared Gaither that played with the Ravens.
Yeah.
He was his neighborhood school was Roosevelt.
Right.
So I get a call from him one day, like, bro, man, just come on up here. So I'm like, at this time, I know my mother, she's strict on academics. She know how I am, and she like, you ain't doing no public school. You know what I'm saying? I done gave you that opportunity, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, but mom, the academics, which was Roosevelt academics, was good for a public school.
Yeah.
So she looked and did her homework, did the work, and then I ended up enrolling.
Okay.
So now I'm probably about 3.5, 4 weeks in. At this point, Farello don't know who I am. I don't know Farello. I don't know nobody. I just know Jared. And I'm in Roosevelt. But it was a full circle because Eddie was a big reason why I even went to Roosevelt. I go to their senior night. They play High Point that year. Eddie do his thing, go in the locker room. And it's crazy because Eddie Pitch was like, look, man, coach gonna let you play, man. And there's a lot of honeys up in here, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that sounds just like it.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. So I'm like, all right, bet. You know what I'm saying? So crazy thing is I get in, I enroll, and it was a crazy transition for me because Newport was probably 350 kids total from K through 12. I get into Roosevelt, bro. My freshman class is 1,000 students. Right. So probably at this time, Roosevelt probably was holding about 3,500. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm in school and I'm just kind of just going through the motions. You know what I mean? Really not knowing what's going on. I missed like the next 2 weeks of preseason. Because again, I didn't know no coach. I was just going to school, going home, So one day Jared like, bro, why you ain't coming to the gym? I said, man, I don't really know, what's going on, what's moving. So I end up meeting for real. I go to the gym, I end up meeting him. He don't even really know who I am at this point.
Yeah.
So he had Matt Queen, which was one of the really good guys that was coming out of middle school that year. And I had played against him, and he was an off guard, could really shoot it. So when I kind of seen him in there, it kind of gave me some instant gratitude. I'm like, I know I belong here then. Yeah. You know what I mean? So time went on. I'm going against Jeremy Bruce and all them guys, Eddie Young. They were seniors at this time. You know what I mean? So I look up, again, the big transition, I look up, progress reports, everything come out, grades come out. I don't have them. Boom. So, but again, the biggest transition was for me going from a small school to a large population.
Mm-hmm.
I'm clueless. You know what I mean? So I don't get grades that first half of the season. And they playing, we like 12, we finished like 12 and 15 on that back end.
Okay.
And we was losing a lot of close games, winning up and down. So I get eligible at this time, that's when you had to sit that whole year. So I got eligible and came back. My first game was my first only guaranteed game was that senior night game. So we go to senior night and then we go into playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing is guaranteed from there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we lock in and fortunate enough, man, we go on a 6-game win streak and win the whole thing. I played them 6 games. Fortunate enough to play against Jermaine Thomas, which was the player of the year at that time. Dove for the loose ball, kind of made a big play, sacrificed my body, just made the play. We get the steal, foul, free throw, we seal the game, end up winning the school first state championship.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of cracked the door open for me for Farello to kind of see what type of player I was. And in the midst of it, I got caught up. Again, we win the state championship. I'm a freshman. I come back. I know I'm part of the reason why we win it. Man, we going to my sophomore year, Randy, and Stan. I don't want to do nothing. Like, I'm just on a high. You know what I mean? I'm feeling good. I know the ball about to be in my hand. So I'm back in school, and now all the outside stuff is taking place.
Yeah.
I'm getting caught up with the girls. I'm getting caught up being in the hallway. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, this mine's now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I never really took advantage of it. So one day my father said, man, them people that's with you, when you stop playing this game, they ain't gonna be around. Mm-hmm. So it ain't really dawned on me until that sophomore year, middle year. I'm like, damn, I ain't playing again. Coach threw me out of practice because I was still going to practice. He threw me out of practice. And so long story short, in the first 2 years of my high school career, I played 6 games. Damn. So I go 6-0 in the state title. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, and it's crazy because my 4 years there, we was in the regional championship 3 straight years, which was my freshman, sophomore, and my junior year. My junior year, we ended up losing to Jeff Green. Like a minute and 5 left, he turned into a pro that day. I seen it when he just took off. So then come back my junior year, I averaged a double-double. And we have a really good summer. We lost in the regional finals. So Jeff Green now. Then my senior year come up, and it's just me at this point. So it's my junior year, I had Carl Campbell, Matt Samuels, Jared Gaither. We was really good. Yeah. Backcourt, all lefties. It was really hard to guard us. You know what I mean? Carl was a unique scorer. You know what I mean? Just one of them dudes that could just put it in the basket. I mean, Matt Samuels was a very strong guard that could really get to his spots, make shots. Joel Morris at that time was I think, he was a sophomore, so he was about 6'6", playing the 4. Jared was at the 5. So we had a really, really, really good, strong, powerful team for a public school. Mm-hmm. Where again, we was able to, compete with you guys and the Mathis and everybody else. In my senior year, man, I was going through a stretch in that senior year where I was just being a team player. Because that's just who I was as a point guard. And I scored when I had to, but I wanted to get everybody involved. Second half of the season, my coach and them come to me like, look, man, you got to kind of take the helm and really, really run it. Mm-hmm. Fortunate enough, man, I averaged probably like 20 that year, 5 assists, 4 steals. Was able to go on like a 9-game win streak. We lost the game right before the regional finals. Not knowing it'd be first team All-Met, ended up being first team All-Met. Mm-hmm. Playing the Capital Classic main game. Then things kind of got rolling again, and I ended up doing a prep year at Patterson. Okay. So I was down there with Bobby Mays, Devon Jefferson. They went to USC. Dude named Robert Sally. They went to Memphis. Tony Crocker. They ended up going to Oklahoma. Pierre Niles, they went to Memphis. Like we was really, really, really good. And I got back in my back in my groove. 25 games in, I blow my knee. We 25-0. First injury of my life. Like, of course, I had the knick-knack injury, but this is the first real injury of my life. Of course, go to the procedures. Boom, they tell me ACL. Ted. So what was crazy about that situation? 2 days before, I just did school visits with Florida and Illinois. So at this time, when Florida was coming off their first national title with Torian Green now, and Illinois had just lost to North Carolina with D. Brown, Luther Head, and Deron Williams. They had just signed Chester Frazier from out of Baltimore.
Yeah, we played against
up there. We played against Chester too. So me and Chester
Mervo, right?
Yep. So me and Chester was really cool. So it was crazy just how I was processing things. My mindset was, I'm gonna do both visits, but I'm gonna go to Illinois. That's how my mind was. They ran a 3-guard offense. I just seen it.
Yeah.
Florida, again, Billy Donovan was talking just if I come being a backup to Torian Green and whatnot. And I didn't not dislike Florida, but I just liked the fact that I come from an area where we play more than one guard on the floor, more than 2 guards, sometimes 3. So I just felt like that was going to be the right situation for me. I blow my knee. That's when I blew the knee. The day after, they came and did my visit. So that next day, I had to grow up, like really grow up as a man and make that call back to explain to them, look, I just blew my knee. ACL, I'm done. So that was one of my pivotal points in my life right then when I had to just be a man. Call and make that call and really hit them and say, look, we're gonna go another way now. So
damn.
That's what happened there at prep school. So then I come back, get healthy, we ended up losing the national title that year, but I didn't play the rest of that. Bobby ended up taking the helm and leading, so we lost to Hargrave in the national title that year. Come back. So I end up after all that, I end up committing to Kansas State.
Okay.
Which I was about to commit to Charlotte because Delonte Hill was down there,
right,
playing with Assault. So I'm like, look, man, I'm gonna stick with my family. I'm gonna go with Charlotte. Right when I was about to commit, Tay kind of like, look, hold off. I'm about to get another job. Not knowing it was Kansas State. Held off. He went to Kansas State. So I took it immediately. My mindset was I have a year with Bill Walker. We'll be able to do it. Bees are coming the following year. I play off them dudes. At the end of the day, I get me a 10-10. 12-8. I'm cool. With them dudes, they make the game easy. And I make it easy for them. Come back 100%. 3 months later, I blow my right one. So they had sent me to Miami-Dade because again, those 2 years of not doing no work, I get caught by the clearinghouse, not really able to clear it in my commitment to Kansas State. So they sent me to Miami-Dade because Frank had ties in Miami at the time, him being a high school coach down there. And like I said, I probably was down there and I really got going 3 months, I blew my right one. So when I blew the right one, I did in and out surgery on my first one because this was my first injury ever. So I wanted to be with my family. I blew the second one 3 months later. I said, man, knowing the process, I said, man, I'm gonna stay in the hospital this time. I don't want to be around nobody. I just need myself. So that's when I took another leap and just, growth for just growing, man. Like I'm in there and I just basically asked the good Lord, man, continue to let me be a point guard. Because I had already made my mind up, I'm gonna walk away from the game. Nobody knows, my parents, family, nobody knows. So when I come out of here, I did 2 days in the hospital. When I come out of the hospital, I just, and it was easy for me.
Wow.
It was really easy. I told my parents, and it crushed them, my family, it crushed, but they was able to get over it because of just how I took it. I was knowing where the game was going. I'm looking at the point guard game. And I'm understanding that I really don't have the resources to really get this right knee all the way back. So I was like, man, I'm gonna walk away. So at 21 years old, I walked away from it. And just having so much more to give. And this would led me to this space, being a coach. being a trainer, being a mentor, whatever, you know, them hats that fit.
That's crazy. I don't think a lot of people know that. You know,
Nah, they don't. And
backstory.
that's why when we talked, I said, man, I want to do it because this is my first time even putting it out there. What actually really happened, you know.
Yeah, man, that's. Whew. I know that was a tough one right there, man. That shit took me back to when I got my injury, and to that point when it was like, it might be over, man.
Yeah. And like I said, I ain't even think about it, man. Like I just, when I was done, I walked, I said, I'm done. You know what I mean? I'm done. Cause it wasn't looking good for me. You know what I'm saying? I know myself and I knew the game, you know what I mean? Where it was going. I'm like, man, look, just put me in a space where I can continue to impact the game. You know what I mean? Like I'm a point guard for life. So that ain't gonna never stop anything. And I'm blessed today, man, to be able to say, man, I've helped over 40, 50 kids go get what I didn't get. You know what I mean? And finish the job, and their families can go travel and watch them play college basketball, experience the NCAA tournament and those things. So it's just a more fulfilling for me in this space now than probably if I'd have started still been playing, I probably would have dealt with all the politics and the ins and outs of somebody leading me on to this and it don't work. And, you know what I mean? To it now, and I'm kind of can control it to an extent. You know what I mean? To a point. You know what I mean?
Big. Nah, that's big. That's big.
So what would you say? So during your playing days, did you learn late that now that you educate your players and you help them to understand this at an early stage of their career?
Well, everything I done been through to help me help these kids at this point. You know what I mean? I think the biggest thing that helped me when I was playing was I always been a sponge. You know what I mean? So I thought I was the best, but I never thought I was the best to where I couldn't learn from somebody or watch them and get something from them to be able to give to myself or somebody else. You know what I mean? So just being in the space of being able to do it, see it, go through it, have the experience, and now be able to help them really understand the logic of it and the steps you got to take to go through it. You know what I mean? So I think the experience, man, as a player, you can't find that nowhere else. You know what I mean? So that experience is the best thing that we have to give to the next one or whoever coming up. You know what I mean? So of course my experience and just learning helped me be able to, you know, give that knowledge to the next person.
Okay. And then we always kind of ask, like, was there ever a time when you fell out of love, or was the falling out of love of the game was when that time you was in hospital on that second surgery, that was when it kind of fell off, the love for the game, or was it any time before then?
Well, I'm gonna be honest, I never lost my love. Like I still love it.
That's good.
You know what I mean? Like I've never lost the love of this thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I walked away from the fact of like chasing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Chasing it. But like I love this thing too. That's why I'm doing it now because of the love. You know what I mean? So I don't think I'll never lose that. I don't think I'll never lose that, the actual love of it because I know what it did for me. You know what I mean? I seen what it's still doing for me and what it do for so many others. You know what I mean? So I've personally, I've never lost the love. I just I lost the chase. I lost the desire to go get it for myself. I lost that part of it. That day though, when I was in the hospital, it was like, look, man, I'm letting it go. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna be the dude chasing this thing and running into that wall. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let it go.
I was gonna say that's a sometimes a blessing in disguise.
For sure.
You know, I'm 38 now. You got some guys like my age that still, you know what I mean? They can't get out of
that space.
Yeah, that space of
space.
trying to play.
This basketball a drug too, man.
Yeah.
It's a drug. It's a drug.
Yeah.
And it can string you out to where you miss the other part of your life. You You know what I mean? You look up, you 40, 45, and you're like, damn, man, I ain't tapped into no outside of basketball stuff. I'm still stuck in this lane.
Yeah.
And this game only but so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It only but so much that you're going to really get out of it. If it's success or not, it's only but so much. It's a cap to it. You know what I mean? The ball stop one day. If you're successful with it or if you're not, it's going to stop.
Facts.
Yeah, for sure.
Facts. Now, I always say that was probably the best thing to happen to me. When I was done, it happened early, you know, and then I had a chance to like make a decision. And I kind of it's similar, you know what I mean, where I got a chance to just reinvent myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was really helpful for my maturity and my growth.
Yeah.
You know, so felt that 100%.
Yeah, nah, I mean, me too, man. Mine ended early. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of fell out of love for a minute. Like I went through a spill and I was like, I'm not even watching basketball no more. I didn't watch it at all. I wasn't going to the gym. I'm like, I ain't doing nothing.
I feel that.
But I mean, eventually, you know, we love it though. So it's like, nah, I can't. You know what I'm saying? It's like my son. I'm not gonna never give up on him. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to eventually come back around to it. So we always ask, put the scenario, we down 2, we down 1, 12 seconds left. What's your go-to move?
I kind of have a combination of it. I mean, one of it was, and I got these from probably two of the best guys that I done seen. I normally play off the double in and out, which I got that from Trey Kelly.
And you got it in your right hand?
Yeah, I play off the right.
Okay,
because I'm a lefty, so I'm gonna try to get to my jump shot or play off the hands off that. Whatever the counter is, I'm gonna counter off that. And then I played off the tween cross, like the Tim Hardaway counter, and I got that from Calvin Cage. But mine was a little more slower, kind of just to get you to lean rock, you know what I mean, a little bit. Other than that, man, I played off what the defense gave me, really, you know what I mean, because I was a student of the game. I played the game with IQ, with pace, you know what I mean. So by that time, late in the game, with 12, you didn't already show me at that point, you didn't show me your hand. You didn't show me your defensive schemes. Ain't nothing changing at that point in the game. So I done already seen certain drops, certain stuff gonna happen. And I done been in the rhythm of where I'm going. So, and everybody know at 12, the ball in my hand, I'm going to get it. So to the point is I'm gonna take what they give me. I'm gonna take whatever the defense give me. I'm gonna take it, but I'm playing off that in and out or that double up or that tween cross for sure.
You gonna shoot the jumper or you get into the cup or it's still?
I mean, that's just what's the score. That's what's the score. Because if it's tied, I'm trying to go ahead and finish it with a trade. You know what I mean? We down 1, I'm trying to get the foul. I'm trying to get to the rim and at least get a foul so we can get to the line or +2.
Man, it's crazy you mentioned 2 guys, you know what I mean? And Calvin definitely had that Timmy. You know, he was quick with it, you know, and then get right into
it. Yeah.
You know?
And for me, bro, like my Earl class was fortunate. You know what I mean? Because we was in between. Then I'm going against dudes like y'all with assault at the time. It was only 16s and 17s.
Yeah.
So I'm going in the gym and I got to battle Earl Risby, Trey Kelly, Daniel Battle. You know what I mean? Like these dudes that was bringing it every single day. Don't care who you are, where you from, this is what it was. And I was a younger dude, but it just put me in a space, bro. Like once I played my peers, I'm like, no disrespect to y'all, but y'all ain't them. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much, like you ain't them. You know what I mean? In the summertime, I'm sparring with Calvin Cage every day. It's just like it was certain dudes that just really. I'm at Newport, T.J. Thompson, Gil Goodrich. You know what I mean? Charlie Bell, he was off ball at that time. James White was there. So like Jonathan Lyles, man, so many names that helped me. You know what I mean? Even if they knew it or not, but just in that basketball space, being able to compete against them dudes all the time, it put me in a different league.
Yeah.
It put me in a different league from a competition standpoint with my peers, or when I went out of state, it was like, man, I don't really see these dudes.
Yeah.
And that was a big reason why I was able to have success versus some of the better players in the country and all that. Talent-wise, some of them dudes was better than me. But just going against these dudes at home and coming from this area where it's dogs all day long,
Yeah.
I was prepared for whatever.
So what got you into was it training first or takeover? Like talk about the transition. What happened next? Was it training or was
So I was coaching.
Okay.
My first year coaching 7th grade, and it was crazy. I got into coaching, and I had at the time that team was Tyler Brothersford that went to
so this was takeover?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd you get connected with that? You just called Keith?
I mean, the thing was Keith had transitioned from Triple Threat. Him and Audie had joined forces with Triple Threat at the time, and Keith ended up getting a opportunity to put a Nike team together. And it was kind of the transition at the same time that I was coming out of my injury.
Okay.
And what better dude than the dude that recruited me for middle school to come to Newport
Facts.
to, had this opportunity, and it was a no-brainer because he knew my ability far as a point guard and how I could help these kids. So he like, come on, So then from there it was like I was trying to get him to come down to the younger kids because I'm watching the wave and the transition about to take its course. With this new class and new era. So I was fortunate enough to start coaching Hunter Dickinson, that's at Kansas, Terrence Williams, that's at USC, one of y'all Gonzaga dudes. I think he like top 1 or 2 scoring. Tyler Brothersford that ended up going to he was at GW, then he transferred to what's the school Fat Cat at? Brian Jameer Young that just finished at Maryland. Josh Watts, Carson, both of them, 2 Gonzaga guys. Well, one DeMath, one Gonzaga. They went to Brown.
You had them as itty bitties.
So I had them in, I had them in the 7th grade, young. So that was just getting my feet wet with coaching. So just, again, this is just my point guard attributes. I just got close to the kids. Yeah. And I was able to, from playing, the parents was able to see I could get more out of them. So it went from that to, I used to be like, yo, y'all want to get some extra work in before practice, let's just get some extra work. So it goes from that to where it turns Tyler and it's like one more that was coming early, and we was just getting extra work. So we just started working. So one day, one of the mothers come and like shake my hand. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, nah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? She like, nah, you. I'm like, nah. I don't need no money with this thing. I said, this authentic. You know what I mean? This what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? This is my calling. So I don't need that. So I go really, bro, I probably go a year and a half outside of coaching them, just training them. Got to a point we just training. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I ain't, like I said, at that time I was coaching at Duval. I ain't want no money. I had a gym. You know what I mean? So my payment to me was, man, make sure y'all come every day. Yeah. If you're gonna say we're gonna do 3 days, we're gonna do 3 days, we're gonna work. You know what I mean? So just work. So from there it just kind of built, and the lady, and I'll never forget, she told me, she said, Ray, you're eventually gonna have to, really put something together and take care of yourself. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, Don, I hear you. You know what I mean? I ain't. And from there, bro, I just kept going. So I probably, even from a financial side for myself, I probably trained for like the next 3-4 years before even putting a price on it, honestly.
I understand that feeling.
And honestly, I really probably wasn't. But again, you gotta adapt. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. We ain't gonna keep sitting there acting like, you know what I mean, like it don't count. Yeah. You know what I mean? That time. You know what I mean? Then I got a family. Yep. So if I'm gonna leave that, I gotta come back home with something. So again, it just transitioned to just being in the gym, man, and certain families and kids believing, giving me an opportunity, you know what I mean, and just saying, look, really help us with this process. And me just, again, knowing, being a sponge in this lane, it's like I'm a rookie all over again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm open to whatever is to learn from. And so going to these camps, being around other people, just watching, hearing and looking and just trying to tap in. Because the biggest thing I realized were like the minute you can tap into their mental, everything else kind of become easy, as crazy as it sounds, because that's the toughest part with today's game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like we was thorough enough. So what's going on today that they consider bullying, consider, all these.
We laugh at that.
It wasn't considered that with us. It was
Yeah.
considered you was either soft or you was tough. And really it was tough love.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because our coaches they only knew one way.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? They only knew one way. They didn't know no other way. So again, just being able to adapt, being around it, being able to adapt and understand, like, so people, I might not be probably the best trainer out here, but I think I'm the best at getting to know your child or that child, and then once I get to know them, everything up again. Now that's when the transformation start happening.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things start taking place because a lot of times these kids not even confident.
Right.
So once you tap into that piece, understand, all right, damn, they ain't confident. All right, let me just give them some words of encouragement. And again, a lot of it is because I've been a point guard. So I understand the balance of making sure everybody where they supposed to be, making sure everybody eat, making sure, you know what I mean, just making it easy for them guys. And like I think now that's just the space I'm in now with, from a training standpoint. I don't look at it as training. I look at it as being a point guard, and that's my 2 guard, that's my 3. You know what I mean? That's my 4 and 5, and I need to make sure they always all right.
Yeah. Man, you made a lot of good points, man. The psychology of training. I almost say we therapists in a way.
Oh man.
You know what I mean? And
you'd be surprised what them kids come in that gym talking about.
Mm-hmm. And I was gonna ask you to go into my next question. With you being so intent with your kids, you're wearing a lot of hats, right? Like how do you as a trainer or as a coach find any balance? Like how do you find balance outside of them? Because they just see you in the gym, but outside of the gym, you got your baby girl, right? You know what I mean? Like how do you find balance in all of this?
Man, I'm thankful, bro. I'm thankful because my daughter and her mom is a basketball.
Okay, so she get it.
She played.
Okay.
So I can't be any more thankful than that in that space, because it's nothing to take me out of the space.
Right.
When my daughter was born, I stopped. My daughter was born July 27th. I took the whole year off. Like I ain't do no training, no nothing.
Yeah.
And I look up, Tiff like, Ray, you need to get back in your jam. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I will, but I need to do this. Like I'm a rookie at a dad. I mean, I'm a rookie, so I'm trying to let me see. And I'm always for challenges. You know what I mean? I love challenges, so I'm like, man, let me kind of try to hit home on. Let me build the foundation of being a dad before I go back into the space that I already been kind of built the platform in. Yeah. I know that's gonna be all right. You know what I mean? So I took the year off, and I was gonna kind of go a little longer with it, but she was like, look, nah, go ahead, and I see your anxiety. I see the, you know what I mean, the itch and the urge. Just go ahead and go back. And like I said, man, I'm thankful and blessed to be in that situation, to be able to know I have a backbone like that to say, man, look, do you, when you out of your space, come be, you know what I mean, come be dad. So, and then my daughter's there, you know what I mean? Yeah. She's there every step. She at the game, she in the gym, you know what I mean? And I ain't trying to force it, but her mom forcing it at this point. So she like, you wanted to play her? I'm like, all right, I go a different route with this one. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let you like it, let you figure it out. And then I give you the conversation like, look, this is how daddy goes. So if you ready for daddy to help you, then I do it.
Yeah.
Nah, that's cool.
That's all right.
Yeah. So
So when you're recruiting for Takeover, like what type of players you looking for? What type of attributes you looking for in your players on recruitment?
I think this the piece with it, Rennie, where I'm coaching in 7th grade. So none of them kids are made or
Yeah,
ready. They all need to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest challenge that I like every year, I get a new group every year. So I don't stay with my group.
Yeah.
So I get a new group yearly because that helps me as a coach too. Different personalities every
Mhm.
year, different skill sets. Like these dudes coming to me with different. Some of them just been know how to score, some don't. You know what I mean? So I'm introducing everything over yearly by year, and that keeps me on my toes.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because 9 times 10, most time when you deal with a team for 3, 4 years,
Get comfortable.
everybody does though,
Mm-hmm.
even the kids. And now, guess what? The biggest piece that's happening is their growth is getting stagnant because we've been doing something for so long. It's the same voice, it's the same cadence, and everything is. And I don't think that's. I think that hurts these kids long term
Mm.
more than short term. They need different voices. They need to know what it's like to hear different voices, but the kind of the same foundation voice. And then when you go to high school, college, I mean, that's when you're gonna see different levels of coaching, and you got to figure out, is that one for me? Is this one for me? You know what I mean? So just being able to yearly, because I'll take whoever, honestly, Randy. You know what I mean? Of course, they gotta have some talent, but
yeah.
I'm about building. I'm about being. I don't want you to be a finished product when I come get you. You know what I mean? I don't think you should be in middle school anyway. You know what I mean? I think that's a space to where it's about just strictly developing. So I'm really looking for a kid with a work ethic, who coachable, have some talent, and the family just gonna let you coach them. Those the characteristics that I'm really looking for. Because the rest of it is you have to get better at these spaces. I haven't seen a 7th grade or 8th grader in my life, probably outside of Eric Price, that was close enough to being like a stud. And you saying, all right, he gonna be able to transition from middle school to high school and be a stud. Just
Mm-hmm.
just being real, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And we talking about Toe was on the front of Sports Illustrated. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? That's a level of all levels at that time. You know what I
Yeah, yeah.
mean?
Yeah, that was
So and
crazy.
I just haven't seen that no more. So I just for me, I'm about just being open. You know what I mean? Hopefully the kid be open to learning, developing in the family. So again, I'm just looking for a little bit of talent and those other qualities coachable, one work, and just from there you're gonna get better.
So what you so I know Stan said that you trained with the young ladies too.
Mhm.
So what you say was the biggest difference from training the boys and the girls?
The training part wasn't different, honestly. Probably more than coaching.
Okay.
You
How
know what I
so?
mean? Your vocabulary,
Yeah.
your the aggressive approach. You have to change that.
Okay.
So it's certain little nuances that's small that you have to change. And like I said, I did it because of challenge. I wanted to become more patient.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I wanted to have more of a fit, a well balanced. Boys just got me off the hinges because of my passion, because of my love, and I know as a male and as a boy, it ain't supposed to be no other way. Like
I'm with
the
you.
cloth I come from, we ain't use shaman. You know what I'm saying? We used the brown paper towels. It was public school, and it hurt a little bit. You know what I mean? And shit was rough. But but the girls, you know what I mean? Like I said, I wanted to take that lane because I wanted more patience.
Yeah.
I wanted to find a little bit more balance in myself. You know what I mean? I wanted to better myself in that space. And then again, having a daughter, so the transition kind of just took its course.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? But I think that's the biggest for me. That's my biggest transition, is just being more level-headed for the girls, and being more receptive and open to them because they are coming with a little more different baggage than the boys. You know what I mean? You kind of, again, back to the mental side of it. You know what I mean? Tapping into the young girls. Because a bad day for them in school, different than a bad day for them than a boy. You know what I mean? A boy might come in there and be on some, man, I'm gonna destroy everything in here because of this. She gonna come in there looking for a shoulder to, you know what I mean, like a dad or big brother or uncle, and it's like, oh, this didn't go right, you know, and it's like, all right, look, I got you. You know, build them up, kind of go from there. But from a training standpoint, man, it's easier because they listen. You know what I mean? They more receptive to everything. You know, the boys is like hitting the wall, bro. It's just, they gonna get some fight back. They gonna get some, look, do this and do that. They gonna do this, that, and that. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, why you gotta add so much more to this? Why we just can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like the girl side, you like, damn, I want to put just a little bit of the boy in them. You know what I mean? Have a little bit more freestyle. You know what I mean? They kind of just strictly textbook. Yeah. Which is really good. You know what I mean? But two, you know, we gotta have a balance with this thing. You gotta be textbook and have some freestyle with you too. So I think that's the biggest difference for me is just, you know, the way I come off at them, you know. But other than that, me personally, I don't think there's too much of a difference.
That's gonna help you raise your daughter.
For sure.
You know what I mean? For sure. For sure. I got a boy and a girl. And how I deal with both of them is completely different. Yes, I feel that. Okay, so let's go into the NBA draft process, right? When you're getting kids ready for the draft, like how much different is that than your everyday training with one of your players?
Well, I think it's, I mean, the difference is probably, of course, you going every day. You know what I mean? Like literally every day. But it's more, I think it's just the detail on what's kind of going on with that per se individual. Because it's a different approach. You know what I mean? You might have a guy, you might have a big, it just depends on, and then it's kind of based on what you're hearing from the scouts, the GMs, and the agent, and kind of what you want to focus on with that person at that time. It's very organized, I would say. I mean, because you got it, it's a day. I mean, the dude gonna get up and probably go strength and conditioning. Then he'll go on court. Then he'll go back in recovery. Then some might go back again at night. So it just depends on. Like, fortunate enough working with Vic, he was a machine. You know what I mean? Eric Green was a machine. So Dennis Schroeder was a machine. So you kind of got to raise the bar with them guys and really push them. And then they was coming from a space to where they was on verge of being something. So Vic was chasing. You know what I mean? So it might be them days where he like, yo, I want to go again. You know what I mean? He going from 14 to 2. That was because he just was in them workouts just going. And it's helping them dudes build a mentality too in the midst of that, because you going in Phoenix or Chicago with 2-3 other dudes, and your conditioning gotta be on 1,000. You know what I mean? Your mentality. It's certain little things that if you get there and do those things, you're gonna check boxes. You know what I mean? So just kind of, and again, I'm still learning in that space. You know what I mean? That's the fun part about it too. Like, I'm able to go watch a superstar put some work in there and just really even confirm what's going on back home is right. You know what I mean? Because you look at it, you think, oh, when you become a pro, it get different. Nah, it really go back to the basics. But it's a high rep of it, and it's at an elite pace. You know what I mean? And you're like, man, they doing this, we ain't pros. You know what I mean? You thinking because they pros, they really doing something out of the ordinary. But like I said, this basketball game ain't changing. Right. You know what I'm saying? This thing gonna stay the same, but it's just the repetitions and understand. Like, you can see them dudes, they done grew, they done got older, mature, so they understand the rep. They understand the taking care of their body. They understand. So just being organized, man, in that space and not cheating yourself. You know what I mean? When you done that, man, go home and lay down. You know what I mean? Because you know you got to get back tomorrow and do this all over again. Stretch, get the massage. So the more disciplined you can be in that space, the better chances you're able to be able to be longevity in the game. Really, you know what I mean? Because I think it's a lot of dudes. It's not as hard getting there as crazy as it sounds because of how it is today. But it's really hard to stay in it because dudes don't keep that blueprint or that work ethic that like it's a pre-draft.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I tell some dudes, man, why you just don't work like you in the pre-draft? Because when you there, you twice a day, you drinking gallons of water, you know, but I get it. Once you get there, you get your couple of dollars, you know, everything else come with it, man. And if you're not strong mentally, you know, you fold.
Yeah, that go back to that first question on handling success.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, I know that gotta be crazy. I ain't gonna lie, I would love to see to be able to sit there and watch the whole pre-draft workout stuff, because from training the younger ones, and that's just a blessing. And love the process of seeing kid that come in and not that good, but then they working, and you just see them get better and better and better. Now they're like, oh, he a dog now. Like, yeah, to see that transformation. But then being that pre-draft, and they already good player, and they polish and mature, and everything is bop 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 bop.
Yeah,
consistent,
like
knocking shots
dope.
down and
It's
everything,
dope.
Man.
It's dope. And I think that's the part where, again, they keep my love.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just being in there sometimes, just watching it, like, damn, this look good.
Yeah,
you know
you can appreciate.
You know
I can
like,
appreciate.
Damn, you know what I mean?
You doing everything
like,
on point.
you know what I mean? For me, like I said, that's my being there. You know what I mean? Just watching these dudes really get after it. You know what I mean? Taking that rep serves or taking advantage of just being in that lab, and it's like, man, the work don't cheat, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it ain't gonna cheat you.
Yeah, it ain't.
You know what I mean? You just can't try to get ahead of it because it ain't gonna happen. Yeah. You can't speed the day up, bro. We at what was it, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock? We ain't gonna get to 12. We got 12 going. It's gonna take its time getting there. You know what I'm saying? So just be the best you can be in that time before we get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't about to make no miracle when it just turn to 12 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I tell a lot of them dudes, man. Just take advantage of the space. You know what I mean? And one day at a time, just chip away. And the chips will fall where they lay.
Hey, man, everything you just said, that's life too.
That's the beauty of this basketball game, son.
Mm-hmm.
You know, getting older and realizing, looking back, like, bro, this young really prepared me for life. You know what I mean? Different personalities, different teammates, different coaches, that's different bosses, or whatever the case may be. It's like, man, bro, basketball has really helped me and shaped me up to where in this world, bro, I feel like I can take on anything that come my way. You follow me?
I do 100%. Mm-hmm. So let's switch into, we'll put you in coaching mode real quick, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing as he asked you in your go-to move, but now you the coach, right? 12 seconds left, ball at the top, you gotta draw up a play, you down 2.
Well, I'm big, as a point guard, I'm big on the person that got that ball, more than likely the best player on the floor.
Right.
Sometimes the best player is to get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So I know sometimes, depending on, like, I play off a ball screen.
Okay.
Just keep the floor spacing, keep it open. But it's, at the same time, it kind of depends on who's on the defensive end of it as well. If it's a big that we know he been dropping all game, we just gonna keep him in the ball screen. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If I know if it's a dude that's blitzing, then I'm gonna take him out. Yeah. And I'm gonna just let that guy, kind of go. So sometimes, and again, some dudes gonna draw something up, but I think that's just me as a coach, coaching my guys, putting that belief in them, confidence in them,
and trusting them,
man, make the play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make the play. And that's where I think dudes are at their best, when you just give them that opportunity to go make the play.
Yeah. I love that you said that, because I can remember just playing and the times where we drew up a play versus the times where it was like, go make a play. Mm-hmm. And the success rate of go make a play versus you trying to wait for this to happen, and it don't never happen because something get blown up, and then you end up with a bad shot.
Yeah.
Versus you'll live with the shot of somebody just making a play.
Yep.
You know. So
And again, I think that goes back to the process of what you and your coaching staff with them teams been doing behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm consistently putting that fire in minds to where, like, look, when the money on the line, let's go get it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I sometimes I just, again, I'm looking at my players, man, make the play, man. You know what I mean? No different than Kevin Ali with Kimber and them and Calhoun, like, flatten that thing out.
Yeah.
Kimber, go ahead and finish these people's off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, probably too, if they did run a ball screen or something, they blitz them, get it out of his hand.
You done.
They defense good with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But sometimes just keeping that thing in space, get out the way. You know what I mean? And let the best player be the best player.
Yeah, because Kimber finished a lot of people, boy.
Man.
Goodness gracious.
Man.
Yeah. So social media, right, is something that is a pro and a con, in my opinion, right? Talk about your thoughts on, has it helped players, coaches, and trainers, or do you feel like it's hurting them? I'll give you your pros and cons of both.
Well, I think it's a big help from a branding standpoint, from a marketing, from just exposure.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think those it really checked those boxes a lot. And then from the my negative pieces, like, I think people get complacent with it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And because of you post something and you get 100 likes, it puts you in the space to where it's kind of like, oh, all right, this cool, this acceptable.
I've arrived.
I've arrived. You know what I mean? And not understanding that you really putting a bigger target on your back when you start doing all this. And I some of it is deserving to be seen. You know what I mean? I don't take that away. You know what I mean? I think some of it is truly deserving that it need to be seen, but I just think we gotta kind of find a balance of where it don't make us a bum. You know what I mean? Because it does for some people. You know what I mean? Everything is social media, and I get it. And I just get the piece too. We're in this space where now these kids are able to create a brand. You know what I mean? They're able to transition into the NIL and all that. So I say if you use it for what it can be, then you're gonna get more positive out of it than negatives.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the negative side can make you fall behind too. We're just falling in love with the fact people like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they not doing anything to help you put the work in or nothing. It's just a like.
Yeah.
You know, like I tell people, I think if we had it back then.
I'm glad we had it back then.
It's a pro and a con because we would have been in some shit.
You know, it's a pro and con with it, but I think the good thing about it, like, people would have seen more authentic action.
Yeah.
Like, we played every day.
Yeah.
Our pickup games was better than probably some of our games sometimes.
Yeah. The camps.
You know what I'm saying?
Just going.
So and we talking about y'all was good, really, really good players, bro. You know what I mean? And just in that time, no knock to Niagara, but social media probably put y'all in another space because y'all was winning too.
Yeah. Facts.
You know, and there's no knock. For example, Tyler Thornton get Duke and just was a really, really good, solid basketball player that could play the game, but Gonzaga was winning.
Yeah. And
it was seen.
Mm-hmm.
So now you go from 1 or 2 high majors on that team to 4 to 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Hummer, he was on the cusp of that 2005 star. It's how kind of transitioning over to that social media a little bit on that back end. You know what I mean? So him doing what he did put him in Princeton or Georgetown.
Yeah.
All because of a little bit more publicity. Now the high major see him and it's like, oh, I can play. You know what I'm saying? To where it was a lot of us in our era that was really, really good, but no real push behind us from a media standpoint or anything. We missed the little 8 ball. You know what I mean? We kind of behind the 8 ball on that part of it. You know what I mean? Not from a talent standpoint of playing, but social media missed our era, bro.
I appreciate you saying
Because
that too,
I think we had it. You know what I mean? Our era had it.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere in the area and it was players.
Mhm.
To where now social media helping the dude that's not good but about to be good, it's helping him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He going into All-American camp now, and he on the cusp of being good or not good. That wasn't happening back in the, you know what I mean, at our time. You good, you go. You ain't good to go, you ain't going.
Yeah.
Now, hey man, we're gonna get 10 of these dudes because they got the social media allowed to do to say, you know what? That's the dude right there. He got a chance to be good 2 years from now. Because all this, it allows you to see some potential. And now, because of the potential thing in today's basketball, everybody gravitating to that. Oh, he don't want potential. Let me go get him. Oh, he, you know what I mean? Man, he's 6'9", and he can move. Yeah. Probably can't dribble yet. Probably can't shoot. But being 6'9" and being able to move, oh man, we're gonna go. You know what I mean? So it has really good pluses to it. But then, you know, I think, like I said, my only negative I think is just people allow it to kind of like get them stagnant and don't allow them to grow because they falling in love with the comments or the Lord, everybody retweeting and it's going up to 1,000 likes, you know what I mean, all that. You kind of forget, let me get back in the gym tomorrow. You know what I mean?
What you really doing this shit for. Yeah. All right, last one on my head. Training gets a bad rap now, right? Training culture, right? You get people that, you got purists and then you got folks that everybody's a trainer, right? Like what would you say as a trainer, what can we do to improve training culture? Is it something that the parents need to do? Is it something that the trainers need to do? You know what I mean? Just talk about that.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is, man, these dudes gotta get out here and really watch these kids. You know, I think that's the biggest piece. Like, you gotta go watch these kids because everybody don't have the same deficiencies. Everybody's different. You know what I mean? So even with training, I think it's still you have a base,
right?
Ball handling, footwork, form shooting. Like you have that base. It's not like training don't have a foundation either that you can become a trainer off, because it does. You know what I mean? 2 ball. You know what I mean? The stuff that we did on our own, you know what I mean, without a trainer.
Right.
So, you know, you can kind of build your base off that. Yeah. But I think the biggest piece, like, these dudes got to go see these kids in action. You know what I mean? So you can say, you know what, I really can't go right, having a hard time going right. So we're going to get in the gym and we're going to do all right hand stuff. You know what I mean? Not it's pick up slow on the shot. You know what I mean? The release slow. So, but you don't know none of that if you don't go see a kid. And I think that's where we can get better at, because a lot of it is, again, back to the gram. I'll show you look like down the gram. So you come in my gym. I come in my gym. And now we in there on the camera, we doing tween crawls, really for the indication to make it look like you this trainer that's really helping this kid or whatever the case may be, but you ain't went and watched them play yet. And really, he need to cut the tween out. You know what I'm saying? Just go one dribble pull up, rip. You know what I mean? Make the game simple, but have these things in your bag when it's an opportunity. Then you go to that. You know what I mean? So I just think, man, we got to kind of just do a better job of really getting out here and being in these streets and watching these kids, and not just, man, let me send you a kid and, you know, man, get them right. You know what I mean? That's cool, but I just think even with that kid, you still need to go watch him or her so you can have a better understanding and vision for them. Because again, when you're going into training, that's about that individual.
Right.
It ain't about the team. It ain't about, you coaching and that. It's about that individual and what does that individual need more attention on, or whatever does good that we can build on. So for me, man, I just think, them guys got to get out and watch these kids to be able to help them grow their game and not just be working them out to be working them out.
It's a great answer, man. You hit on so many beliefs that I have just working with people. You know what I mean? I really try not to take on too many kids because I'm intently working on one thing with one person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can't go to 20 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like that's something you want to see that translate into the game.
Yep.
And you got to be out there to see that. So no, that was. That's how you know this man trains. You can know he trains just based off of that answer, man. At a high level.
So the same with the pros and cons of social media. What you think about the NIL stuff?
Man, I love it. I ain't gonna lie, I love it. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to fight the O'Bannon brothers and all them other dudes who fought for years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To allow them kids to, you know what I mean, man, to have some nice money in their pocket and be able to, take care of family or whatever the case may be. They're gonna put a cap on it. I think they're gonna put a cap on it because it's vicious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the money that they are getting, and this is this is the trick to me because we not educated neither.
Right.
Just call a spade a spade. 17, 18, 19-year-old kid ain't educated going into college with minimum 100 grand. You know what I'm saying? Some of these dudes getting a meal.
Yeah.
Some of these dudes getting 800. You know what I mean? So when you looking at 20, 30, 40 G's a month that you getting. And come on, man, we know what college dudes doing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So again, I think they're gonna put a cap on it, and which is fair, I believe. But I tell the kids too, why it ain't no cap, man, go get it too. You know what I mean? Go get it. But I think we just gotta I think we need to implement a position or some type of structure to where these kids leave college up.
Yeah.
More than in the red.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they are getting this good money. You know what I mean? And I think I think they deserve it. There's no question about it. Even if they cut the cap to 500, like I still think these kids deserve this money. So, but my biggest piece, man, I just pray that they somewhere implement some type of structure to where these kids leaving with, man, if they get $1 million, man, leave with $1 million. You know what I mean? Like really, really work the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Put yourself in this space of where I take half, and if you want to play off that, you play off that. But man, put something up, man, and really invest and learn now. You know what I mean? Again, they putting us in these spaces, but again, because there's so much money coming from the communities that we coming from the cities that we coming from, we just see bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not realizing you can leave college a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? If you really double down and really put that money to use and do what you need to do with it. So I'm all for the money, man. I'm for it. Like I said, I think they're gonna put a cap on it because so much money will have us crash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At that time. But no, I love it. I love it. And I just think our guys gotta just, like I said, have some infrastructure to where they allowing the money to work for them and they not just blowing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I forget who we was talking with, and they were saying that, excuse me, but one, I guess the negatives about it, that it was giving more kind of authority or power to the player than even like the coach. He didn't really have the power to really kind of either direct or just the respect level between coach and player, because if this player coming, he getting that meal,
Right.
it's like, oh, I can't treat him the same, or or it's like I got to treat them a little differently because you the high value guy. And I mean, if you getting the meal or two, and you and the coach ain't getting along, you might get the coach out the way because.
Well, see, I think that's where, and see, that's where I think us as the student athletes and the parents being educated, because them schools still in that space to where that month they can cut that tag. So you know what I mean, like, and that's what people don't know. You know what I mean? You can go with this $1 million, but let's just say the dude getting $1 million say, man, I want 50 a month, broken down like that. Well, they in control where you don't get that month at the same time too.
Like
so they can cut your water off.
Okay.
You know what I mean, to an extent too. You know what I mean? But again, not many educated on that. They just see 300, 400, and I get down here and I'm an active fool because since this thing took place and the big kids and I ain't getting all my money. Yeah, because you down there doing some other stuff. So that's their way of controlling you with this new money and space of, because they know, like you said, some of them kids gonna be like, man, I make more than the third assistant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna be able to swag how I want to swag, but on the back end, that month come, and the coach did, he ain't getting that. So you kind of, you know what I mean? You it's a 50-50 in it for sure. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's more. I think them dudes running their house, them coaches. You know what I mean? Because Kansas, one of the schools that's giving out real paper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's a well-oiled machine out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ain't nobody. You don't know who making the most money and who not. Because Bill Self is just you know what I mean, it's a machine. So certain schools, yeah, they paying these dudes, but they ain't lose their principles. They ain't lose they core values and none of that. So I just think, no different than anything else. If you going whatever you're gonna do, still be firm on all your values and principles. You know what I mean? And them dudes understand it because really all they want is some money. You know what I mean? You give them some money, they'll go ball for you. You know what I'm saying? They'll ball.
That's a great question, man. I never heard the other side of that. That's kind of like overseas in a way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you ain't performing.
Think about it now. St. Barnabas just hired a GM.
Yeah, I know, right? That's
Syracuse
crazy.
hired a GM. So we really, college basketball somewhat is transforming to the league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With money, with GMs. Next, that's what I'm saying. Next is gonna be a cap. Next is gonna be a cap. Next on all American dudes probably get 500 to 800. You know what I mean? Then it'll probably work its way down from there. You know what I'm saying? So it's taking its course. But like I tell them kids, the ones before it put that cap,
run that tag,
man. Get the belly, man. Get the belly. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't denying it, man. Go get it. You know what I'm saying? So.
That ain't easy to get.
That
ain't easy to get.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And just with these with the big guys, it's less window of them making the league. You know what I'm saying? Just how the way the game going. You know what I'm saying? With really playing dudes, everybody on the perimeter and whatnot. So them centers that's dominant in college, man, go 4 years. Go get that paper. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be the best center in the country, man, stay. Double down, you got the leverage. I need 8. You know what I'm saying? I need 9. I need 100. You know what I'm saying? So back in the day, they was like, look, man, go around the way, the brown bag on that side of town, we can't. But now, it's really, they come in here, coach. First question now is, man, what the NIL look like? You know what I'm saying? So you went from talking about tradition, how we coach, the program, you know what I mean, standards, the guys that they came before to now it's just NIL, man.
Yeah.
You ain't got this amount, we can't work. So it's even recruiting different, you know what I mean, for the coaches. I mean, they different now.
Yeah. That's crazy. All right, man, we got a game, man. We call this either or. All right. So I can't let you see that. We got ginger shots, man. Ginger shots. So if you say both, I'm gonna take it with you. I don't know what Rennie gonna do.
I'm gonna take it.
You know.
No, we gonna
Pause. I'm gonna take the shot
we
of
gonna eat
ginger.
one, y'all. We gonna eat one of these.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
The taking on.
Okay. All right. Y'all can have that. So, all right, here we go. Got a few takeovers in here too. Luca or Sticks? Okay, man. Hot.
I both.
I'm gonna let you pull your own. You pull your own, dog.
We just going with one?
Yeah, just one. Oh man, it might be a long night for you, right? All right.
Some water,
Oh,
man.
that was easy.
That was easy.
Yeah, that was easy.
Josh Hart or Victor Oladipo?
I gotta go VO.
Okay, that was an easy one.
Yeah, I gotta go VO.
All right. Eric Green, Ty Lawson.
I take this. I take this.
Ooh. I'm gonna go eat green though.
Okay.
I can't pass down 25 a night in the ACC. Playing the nation is scoring. I can't.
Yeah.
Ty won though. Ty national title champion and all that. But
yeah, he gonna be on the show.
Being a focal point in the ACC night in, night out, and get those, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
That's different.
All right. Confidence or skill?
Confidence.
Coaching or training?
Training.
Takeover or McNamara?
Takeover.
Okay. Boys or girls? Coaching.
Both.
See, mine be cutting these pieces all small and shit. You know, or whatever. We'll come up with another thing. All right. Two lefties here. Stoudemire, Damon Stoudemire, Jalen Brunson.
Brunson.
Okay. Luca or Shea?
Go with the Dom, man. Man. Nah, man. I'm going both, man. I'm going both. Yeah. My system gonna be good though, Slim. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, good man. You put me on or something though.
Yeah. I got tired of putting them in the smoothies. I was like, man, I'm gonna just eat the shit. All right, two more lefties. Chris Mullin or Manu Ginobili? It's an odd one.
I do, Manu. He changed the game.
Okay. Dame or Gil?
I like Dame too. I feel like Dame he just give me from here. His game give me from here.
Yeah, mentality.
But I gotta go with Bashi, Slim. He watched that up in class. I ain't doing that. I gotta go Gil, Slim.
Bad man. Bad man.
I don't think I've been to a game since, Slim. I mean, I've been, but you know what I mean? I was consistently going to them Jones, playoffs and everything, just because he was him.
He was him.
He was him.
And he used to do that down the farms
too. Yeah. And the dude put the work in though. Like, you know what I mean? So he even showed us, you know what I mean, why he was here, one of the dudes, he showed us.
Yeah.
Like, look, you might see him in love. That same night, he gone and going in the lab.
Yeah, facts. All right. Steph or AI?
AI.
Okay. Kobe or Bron? I hear the old school in them.
They
like,
know, everybody know I'm a Bron dude. So I'm gonna go Bron. I'm gonna go Bron. Rest in peace, Bean though.
Okay. Bron or MJ?
I'm gonna go Jordan.
Okay. All right. That was it. That was good, man. You did good.
I mean, Mike got the killer overall. And them at the end of the day, just that different it factor. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a Bron dude for sure. I'm Bron.
Yeah, the
I'm
remarkable
Bron for
career.
sure. I'm Bron for
Remarkable
sure. And I
career.
think a lot of it for me is because I'm a team guy. You know what I mean? Not saying that Kobe and Mike wasn't. You know what I mean? They was a team guy for their role, but me being a point guard and just always wanting to get everybody else involved. Like Bron mastered that. He just mastered how to just control the game.
Yeah.
You know, and just get guys. I mean,
Real puppet master.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, got a lot of dudes paid, man, just who I thought was gonna get money, but the money that they got for playing with him was a little bit over their head too. But rightfully, the way Bron put them in position and confidence, and you know, just put them dudes in a better space.
Yeah, case study got to be done with him on how he managed the NBA.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, yeah, he definitely changed the game for sure.
I mean, he showed us. You know what I mean? He showed us how to be a basketball player and an entrepreneur, a family man. You know, all those things in one. You know what I mean? And I think he said it like a couple of days ago. Like, people, again, just that backbone, that support. Savannah she won't get the full credit that she get, but she got the hardest job in the world, right? You know what I mean? That's the toughest job to have, is to be that man backbone and support system through it all. You know what I mean? And that helped him be able to be the player that he is today. You know?
And play her role too.
Yeah.
Play her role. So
All right, man. So always at the end, we always give the guests opportunity to give advice to any of the players, the parents that's playing basketball, about training culture, and just some advice to really end us off.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, man, I got a saying where it's called stay the course. You know what I mean? And kind of, as the parents, understand, like, you're the adult, so you know life come with it. It come with adversity, it come with highs and lows. So I just be able to say, man, be able to accept that, embrace the fact that you know adversity and highs and lows that come with it, and be able to just keep your child level-headed through this process. Because it's gonna be good days, it's gonna be bad days. It's gonna be days where it seems like it's no growth. You know what I mean? But then it is growth. You know what I mean? And my thing is take one day at a time. You know what I mean? It's as crazy as it sounds. It ain't no special words to this thing. You know what I mean? Or special advice, or it's, you know, be the best version of you that day. You know what I mean? I got another saying where I'm just thankful for a new 24, which is the Lord blessing me to see another day. And from there, I'm gonna control what's controllable.
Yeah.
I ain't out here fighting the uncontrollable. I'm not even trying to go against it, because it's a lot of this stuff is self-explanatory. It's uncontrollable. You know what I mean? Like, it's already out of our hands. So I just think, man, just really just focusing in on who you are, who your village is, and just kind of go one day at a time with it. You know what I mean? And don't allow other people lanes to veer you off or have you wondering, like, well, why my time not now? Or, you know, those things. Because a lot of people do that. A lot of people lane watch. You know what I mean? They get the lane watching, and from the lane watch, it's like, well, man, let me try to speed my At the end of the day, we all gonna be seniors one day. If you're in high school, you're gonna be a senior. You know what I'm saying? If you're in college, if you're fortunate enough to do 4 years, you're gonna be a senior. You know what I mean? If it so happens to be one and done, you just so happens to be one and done. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of, at the end of the day, just control what you can control, and, you know, let the uncontrollable be what it be.
Man, that's great advice. I always say, pay attention to who you were yesterday and try to be better than that person than focusing on somebody else's today. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what they did to get where they at.
For sure.
You know what I mean? You get blindsided by that. So, nah, man, definitely thank you for coming in.
Man, thank y'all, man.
This was a great
Sure.
episode, man.
I enjoyed this. Hopefully we can do a part 2 or something.
Yeah. For sure, man. All right, y'all, man, that's a wrap. Make sure y'all subscribe, like, share this out to your families and friends.
And the best thing is, stay gang related.